And this time, if I feel like my computer's acting up, I will try to stop the video and restart the video a couple times if I need to. But we'll see how it goes. It was fine for yesterday's classes, so it should be good again. Let's see. So let me go ahead and share screen now. So first part of the review is just kind of review the code that I created for the profile pages, just so you see what they look like, so you can compare them against your own now. So we have the two routes. We have the router post just to create a new register account. Unlike Jethro, I'm not going to do the update as well. It's just either put it in or yell at them for trying to put in a profile that already exists. I can add in edit capabilities later by either updating the post route or adding in a put route. Like I said, it depends on how, like we talked about Sunday's class. I think it was Sunday's class we talked about, or Sunday's meeting, whatever you want to call it. We talked about you don't necessarily need the put. You can combine the register and profile under post technically. It's definitely doable by saying, hey, we do have a profile. Instead of doing profile already exists, you can do the update command in the SQL and add in the update the profile. What we did clarify was that with CRUD, there is this idea, this purity, of course. Post is create new, put is to update, get is to get, and delete is to delete. So with CRUD's purity systems, you wouldn't want to have the post actually update. So it depends, again, how you work and how your company says you need to create it this way. This is how we're doing it. We're doing pure CRUD, or we're going to do as a minimalistic endpoint system. So it depends on how many endpoints you want, too. The company may want very few endpoints. And that's the case, you do the post and put together. So it depends, and that's a lot of times how it always goes. It's never, this is how it should be done in the language, it's how it should be done in my company. Make sense? So, very simple. We check, we extract the information from the body. We go ahead and select to see if there's already a profile then. If it is, we just respond with our standard errors message. Profile already exists. If we don't, since again, it's an if return, we don't use else. One of those things I've seen a couple times in the coding challenge is a reminder of that. If you have an if return, do not use else's. That keeps your indentation low. If you're doing if return else do this, then you're kind of hurting yourself in the long run of just over indenting, and it's not necessary. So one of the biggest things you want to do to make your code look a little bit more mid-level is to not have those redundant systems in there that aren't necessary. You can do an if return, and keep the else out of there. Make sense? Good. I still see those in the challenges, so you want to definitely start practicing that. Let new profile. So if we do have one already, we're going to do the profile. We insert it. Right now I'm returning star. As we talked about again on Sunday, this is slightly dangerous because we're going to return the AID, and we're also going to return the actual ID of the profile, which really doesn't need to go there. It's not that bad of an issue because we are sending it back to the owner of the profile and the account, but we don't actually ever send the AID to the actual user. Even when they register, currently we send it back, but the idea in the end would be to not actually send the new profile data. We would just send back the token as well. For the registration process, we could do a register and auto login. So that's something we would do probably later on. We do send it back right now, though, now that I think about it. So we do send it back. But we also did that for ourselves to make sure it works. But yeah, right now returning star would return in all the data of the profile. So it's a little dangerous, something we might not want to do. So to get the profiles of self, again, right now we're getting everything. Again, this is something we might want to consider, and I goofed up my consistency somehow. Select star from profile where auth ID equals 1, and that's wrong. AID, there we go. AID equals $1, request user ID. Nothing too complicated. This is pretty much what I saw most of you had. This is pretty much what you want to see. That's it. We get to create profiles and pull down profiles. Any questions on this code? Anything that seemed different from what you guys had? Or does that look pretty much what you expected? All right, let's move on then. So to review what we did yesterday then, or not necessarily, Sunday, not yesterday, we created the auth gateway. So in the gateway, we talked about, again, how do we want to send this data? We don't want to have we don't want all the same routes, so we want to do more obfuscation. The whole idea of the microservice system is that we're obfuscating some of these servers away from the end user. The end user has no idea where in the internet the auth microservice is, has no clue. It knows what the gateway is because it has the URL, and as such, it can get the IP via the DNS system. So it technically has the location in the internet of our gateway that we can't protect because they need to know that to be able to visit. We don't want them having direct access to the auth microservice or to any of the other microservices, because it just protects our systems. And so we hide that. But there's always this chance that a disgruntled employee or someone else could temporarily give out or somehow could get out the location of the auth microservice. The URL could go out. And if we're using the same endpoints in our gateway that the auth microservices use, then they already know the endpoints and they can start pinging data right away. And it's going to be hard for us to notice that this is someone that shouldn't be getting data, other than just we realize, wait, there's a whole bunch of pings to the auth server directly in a row. That's not the gate, and that's not a gateway IP. We'd have to have some system that would identify that and ping that back, and we would only be able to do that anyway if we pay for a static IP address for our gateway. If we don't pay for a static IP address of our gateway, we wouldn't know that someone other than the gateway is connecting anyway. So that's one of those things you got to be aware of and be careful of. So with that being said, we decided to hide that by just creating a single endpoint for the microservice. So auth, and then creating a action request body item. So the only post is a single post to a single endpoint. And all we do is we have an action that says what it should do, and then the body of the request that system needs. And then the last thing we clarified is if we need an auth token, we'll still send it in the header via the XAuth token. So that way it's still in that protected key. It's a little harder for people to notice. It might if anyone's sniffing for a certain key of like authentication in either the body or the word authentication in the header, they won't find this right away. They'll actually have to look through it by hand, so manual searching. So anyone sniffing for certain keys here or for certain keys in the body, they won't find it, and this would help. And this is something you can even do better if you wanted to. Rename this altogether. You don't even have to use this term. If you really wanted to be sneaky with your token, you could call this X-Men United because you're an X-Men fan. Who knows? You can use any header key here that is not already reserved. That's one of the key things to keep in mind. So we decided to go this route. And so in our auth server, we see that here. We use a simple case switch system. Switch case system. So the request comes in, and again, as I think Vidashali was the one who pointed it out, it has a bit of a harkening back to Redux from React with the actions payload system. So we have an action and a payload, and I'm not sure if when I created this concept myself that there was some influence from there, but it did feel like it worked really well, this concept. So request comes in, we see that we get it at the gateway, so then we take a look at, we create a response container so we can get whatever the response is from that server, whether it's a good or bad response. We don't know what we're going to get back. We check on the action, we figure out which action we're doing. So register user, we reach out to to separate concern, the gateway should only be in charge of figuring out what action it's doing and then let something else handle it. And so we have a method, a function that will get called to handle that action. And all that thing does is it sends out the request, it takes the request body from the request, puts it into the request of an Axios call, sends it out to the server, says, okay, let me know when you get it, and it waits. Once it gets a response, as long as Axios didn't fail, it sends back the response. Even if it does, though, if Axios fails with a non-200. So this is a 200 return. This will return on 200. If it does fail, we'll get this, then we still want it to return. We just wanted to return the data from the response. We don't want the Axios data. We don't need that. We just want the data from the server. And so we get that back. And since we formatted our auth microservice to always return the key errors in the JSON, we can check for that key. If that key exists, we know that the microservice had an issue and sent us back an error information, and we can send that back by using throw response error and use the catch system. So we catch it, we send back a status 500 and the error itself. Otherwise, we send back the response. And we have those three services. We have the register one, register user, login user, and the last one we had that we talked about that we got to kind of touch base a bit on is the register profile, where we pull the token from the XAuth header, the XAuth token. We decide that the token is confirmed. So I'm curious over here, for those who actually worked on it, what did you end up doing?
I did it completely different because I couldn't use requests because obviously I'm not using express router there. I'm just making like a function. So I got the router from within the switch, or rather, I got the token within the switch statement and saved it as a.
But we passed the request, if you remember correctly. So in here, in the register profile, we did saying request, and up here, I actually sent it the request.
Yeah, but I couldn't get the request header because it would come back. I mean, me and everyone had that same issue. It'll come back. It's not a function.
No, I got it actually. It is a request.header and into bracket you have to write X or token. Did you do that?
Yeah.
I got it.
brackets rather than.
No, it's in
Yeah,
parentheses with
or
double quotes.
token. Yeah, whatever Cliff has written on the screen that yeah you have to write exactly, and I got it. So I just wrote there if token. That means the token is not.
It should,
If you
and
get
honestly,
something.
all I did, if you remember correctly, is I came over to here, went to our auth microservice, and I just copied this line right here. This is all I did. And if it worked
Yeah.
on the auth system, it's going to work on the gateway. So if you're having a problem and you want to share your screen quick, please, we can do that.
Okay, I have a very interesting error.
Who wants to go first, Jethro or Milo? Ben.
I don't know. So I'll show you mine really quickly.
Okay. Hold up, Jethro.
Oh, did you want to go first? Jethro?
No, it's fine. No worries.
Okay, because that's just called a power move. What I did.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cliff,
Yes. Go ahead.
you gotta enable screen sharing.
Oh, right. That was not enabled by default on this system. Go ahead.
All right.
All good to go.
All right. So what I got here is.
What'd you break?
The whole thing. Okay, cool.
There we go. We can see.
So beforehand, right, like you had this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually getting an error returned to me that was saying that because I got post with two blacks, slashes instead. So I was like, well, I gotta get rid of one of these slashes.
One thing we need to clarify with the code written as is that it's just going to kick back right away immediately because what we're actually going to get an error on is that well, let me just put it simple. This method is not finished. One, we didn't record. So if you tried to run this as is, you're wasting your time. This right here is not saving the response, and we're not returning the response, even though we're expecting a return of response.
I didn't finish the
yeah.
part of it. But
okay.
I was getting it on the API on the auth service up here until I deleted this flag.
No, but what is in your default.js?
Nope.
Because
that's it, yeah.
Okay, great. So that was my question.
So that's why there is a slash, yeah. If you remove that, then you have to put it there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can take it.
Yeah.
That was what I was sort of like being like, well, why is this written differently and where is that coming from? So, okay, cool.
Yeah, it depends on where you're. The idea is that at the end of when you actually do all the interpolation, that we have a normal looking URL. That's all.
Yeah, I mean it works.
Yeah, this should work.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, cool. Quick. Nope, don't hit that button. Let's do this button. Jethro, please share your screen. I can see.
So yeah, what I was having an issue was when I had like token down here.
Mm-hmm.
I would get an error saying that request is not a function.
Well, right now it is. Right now,
body there.
Hold on.
Yeah, but before I had request here before.
Yeah.
You have to change it all together.
Hold on. Put body back in and send both. Let's send both for the moment. So put REQ here, body, comma, REQ. Or required, comma, body. However you want to do it. Whatever order you want to do it. I don't care. Let's go back up to when you call the function right here on line 22. Get rid of token now. I don't know how you were sending that.
Yeah,
all right. And then pass REQ though. So that way you're passing the request and the body now. So, and because I still want the rest of the code below to still work. So after line 40, let's do a comment of token. No, I still want that. Why'd you get rid of that? I said after line 40. Put a yeah. No. On line 40, go one screen lower and just comment and just console.log the token to see that we get it. Yep. Most likely this is still going to fail because you're actually not sending the header in your Axios request, but it's fine for the moment. Yeah, right now your post is just sending the URL and the body, but no headers yet. But it's fine. We don't care if we get an error back. I just want to make sure and confirm that we do get the token. Because body can be replaced by request.body, and then you don't need to send the body along. Oh, line 25 is going to generate an error because you're using token, but you commented out token, by the way. Line 25. Yep. Yeah. Well, just comment out line 25. Comment it out. It's the variable token is there, and token is undefined. So the interpreter is just noticing that and letting you know, hey, there's a problem here. So that's all. Yep. There it is. Now, just so you know, you're only sharing one screen with us, so we can't see your postman. There we go. So you do get the empty brackets. Let's see what it says. Scroll up a little bit. Cannot read property data of undefined. And so error response, and that's on line 600. That's on line 71. So 71. So yeah, it's just saying that that is not an error. So that usually tells us that it wasn't an error from Axios. So can you just, for the time being, just so you can see what it says, can you get rid of this? No, just the response.data. So just leave error behind. Look at that. There we go. Do it again. Go back to the code now because I'm expecting an error. Scroll down to the bottom. I wasn't expecting an error. I just want to see what the printout is now. So still going to say that. Temporary data time. Let's scroll up a little more. Wait, what the heck? You do have NodeMon running, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm not seeing anything on the server. Nothing over here is happening, so that's interesting. All right, go back to the top. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Here we go. Maximum call stack size exceeded. Are you doing a recursive call somehow? How'd that happen? Axios.post, return response. Hold on, I've actually never seen that error before. 1 second. It's saying it's happening on Axios, that Axios is call stacking. Wait, did you do the right one? Hold on. No, you didn't. You did register user. Oh, God. That makes it different. So token is actually request. So no, yeah, to get rid of that, leave that alone. Don't worry about that. Request there. There we go. That's fine as is. We're going to create token locally now. That's fine. We'll undo it. You can fix your other route later, but yeah. There's your token. See, it works fine.
How is that possible?
It works.
How is that possible? What kind of witchcraft is going on?
I don't know. It works because you sent the request. So get rid of this. And over here, do request.body now. Dot. Hold on. Remember, it's request.body.requestBody. Dot. Request body. That. REQ body.
Yeah, I did the same thing actually.
Yeah, that. There you go. Like that.
Is it okay if we just did like request body up here?
You could, but it's not really needed. But yeah, it's doable. It's just now you're sending it kind of you're sending the request twice, and yeah, that's the only difference why. So because we have to send the request for the token unless we extract the token above, but there's no reason to extract the token unless we're using an authenticated route. So that's one of the things you have to consider and think about. No matter what.
Because I've also I could save it. Because am I right, Evan? It was saying that.
Evan, is yours still not working?
Yeah, I have the same problem with him.
Is your problem still there, or is it?
We kind of fixed it the way I kind of did it, but now it works.
So Evan, you don't have the problem anymore, do you?
Which one?
Do you have the token problem or no?
Yeah, I didn't do it the same way you set it up. I had issues with that too.
But do you still have an issue? That's what I'm trying to find out.
I'm trying. I kind of messed it up as I was following along.
Oh, jeez. But also what I was saying, just so you know, so the thing is, unless we extract the token up above, we have to send the request, and the request contains the body. So there's no reason, so it's kind of weird to extract the body from above. We're going to send it. I can see the point, though, of extracting the body because almost every single action is going to need the body. So, right. So you could pull out the body, but with the authenticated routes, unless we're going to extract the token up above in the gateway system for every action, then it's kind of not needed. But we don't really want to do that up here because there's no guarantee there's going to be a token. So why even run this on register user or login user? We shouldn't have this. This line of code isn't necessary to run.
What if you put that within a case that it will be expecting that?
Yeah, but even then, this will only run once, regardless if it's here or here. This isn't running twice anymore. Just because I put it here, here, and here, even though you see request.body.requestBody 3 times, it only ever runs once. So you actually haven't given yourself any benefit on performance. If anything, you're just adding another piece of memory to the bit of memory to the RAM because you've extracted this, put this into a variable on RAM, and then you're sending it through instead of inlining it. And then this still has to go to the yeah.
You don't save anything by putting it there.
Nope. Because again, once this case triggers, where's my arrow? Come back here. Come on. Click, please. Come on. Dang you. Fine. So once this case triggers, this line runs, and then none of this runs.
Yeah.
Right. And so if you do the request body here, so this code is repeated here, here, and here, it only ever runs once. So you're not technically saving any performance by doing it above. If that makes sense. Cool. And again, if you really wanted to be a purist about it, technically you are actually using up more memory. Because you're creating a variable here to extract the body, and then you're creating another variable in the method on the stack when you send the body over. So now you're storing the request body in 2 locations technically. If you want to be pure about it, yeah. So it's not really, so yeah, that's all. On one hand, I will say, more legible. Kind of, in a way. Anybody have any questions?
Wait, Jeffrey, what do you have for get profile?
What was that?
Oh, right.
Get profile?
Oh, you don't have anything.
Evan, do you want to share your screen?
Yeah.
So we want to pass it rec for register profile? Not
Yep.
Okay. And then I pass token rec.body here.
Just pass rec. Yeah. You only need to because right now you're not actually in this one. You're not even extracting the token yet. You haven't pulled the token out, so there's no token keyword there. So now let's go down to this one first. Let's go there first to register profile first.
Okay.
So in register profile, here we are. We want this, that first line. Put that back. So that should work. And over here on line 64, request.body.requestBody, and kill that.
Oh, okay. Just body?
Nope, not. A request.
Ali, whatever.
Yeah, request body.
Request dot body.
Request body dot request body.
Oh, request body.
Yeah. No. You do. Stop. Just like we have above. So it's request dot body
Mm-hmm.
dot request body with the object. Request dot request. No.
Hello.
So
Oh, up here.
hold on. Nope. Stop.
No.
That.
Oh, okay.
Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because remember, the body has the action and the request body. So we need to pull out the request body. And then you don't need body there anymore. Yep. Kill that. We just need the request. That should work. Right now, though, yeah, we can run it. It'll work. Even though current profile says token, it's fine. Because there's nothing that's going to trigger anything. But let's at least see if now register profile works. Try to register a profile. And remember, if that user already has a profile, you may not be able to do it. You may need another login.
Yeah, I created the new one just now.
Good. Okay. Just checking. Edna, I like it. There you go.
Yeah.
Works for me. And everything else can keep it. Just keep it. It's fine. Yeah, we don't have to make it completely customized. Just enough so that we don't trigger the unique requirements. So, token there. Yep. Good. Let's send it. You got a response from me. Yeah, it's fine.
All right.
Unfortunately, since I can't see what you had, I can't see what you did wrong. Unfortunately, but yeah, that would be the way we are doing it. So, you just want to update now, get current profile the same.
Body or rec.body.
Possibly. So all you need to do is fix up that guy later. So you'll want to edit him later. But for now, let me get back to what I was showing casing. So I'm going to kill your view.
Hold on, I'm actually getting that same error again.
Show it.
So it might be a good time to do some.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I messed up something.
Possibly.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Alright, so the same request.
On line 65. Let's look at line 65. Okay, so one thing I'm noticing right now is just your quotes look weird. Oh, never mind. That's normal for you. Okay, you're using a different thing for me. Request header, so you sent request here. So let's go up to where we see register profile. Right there. Here sending request.body, not request. Get rid of body.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
So that's all just either request?
No, these ones over here need to be request.body.requestBody. We sent the actual item we want to send here. So request.body.requestBody for those two. So do .requestBody.
Or which one?
That one.
Yeah,
Where you're on. Right there, right where you are. Do dot. Yep. Dot REQ body. Yep. That one. Yep. Same with the other one. Because this function doesn't need the action. We don't need to send it the action. We don't need to send it the full object. We just need to send the function what it needs to send to the microservice. It doesn't need anything else. So now if we scroll down, because watch, go look at register user. So register user, for some reason you have request there. You don't need that. You don't need that.
Oh, yeah. I actually called it, so yeah.
Keep body. No, keep body.
Somebody?
Yeah. Because see, we send that body. Now, body here is actually the request body, but what it is the body of the request. So that's why we sent request body, but captured body. If it makes it more clear what's happening, right, if you want to make it more clear, you can name this request body, if that makes it more clear what's happening. So it's just this, we named it body here because it is the body of the request. Request body is the body of this request. So that's why I named it body there. But if it makes more sense to you, switch it. That one again, body.
Body here.
Yep. And then down here, get rid of everything but body. Yeah, there you go. That's it.
Huh.
Make sense? Okay.
At least for here. So,
Cool.
don't be crazy.
All right, let's go back quick. We're only going to spend another just 10 more minutes. I'm going to let you know what the plan is for the post database, or the post microservice. All right, so back to what my screen quick. We're not going to actually write any code today because it's already 9 o'clock, and I didn't want to keep anyone past 9. So we'll go ahead and set up the preparation for the next one. And mostly today I just want to see what you guys had created. So with this, register profile, other than what I saw from everyone else, it seemed like what you had there was pretty much fine after that. All you need to do for register profile to make it work, as we showed, is just you need to just send the data and then accept the response and do pretty much what you see here. These methods don't really do much else. The only difference between register profile and login user is this and this. And I wrote that wrong. Yeah. You just understand that login user is not protected. Register profile is a protected route. That is it. And so, what we're going to be doing next, my terminal, we're actually going to do now mkdir. So 2 things I want to showcase quick just to do it. We're going to do mkdir posts. So that's going to be our posts directory. But then I also want to show you guys, this is what I was trying to show when I crashed. CP repo. So my repo folder, this is what I'm going to put on my resume. This is the folder I put on my resume. Not all of these. I don't want to put in each individual microservice on my resume because that's going to be a lot of stuff. What I have here is simply a README file that has gateway and auth microservice. For now, this is going to be much more complex. What I do also want to showcase is another type of what I did in another one. So in my demo, in my kind of my test situation. So cd code and pern repo. Do that. And I want to showcase this README. Already a little scary. So in this one, all I have here is, these are your H tags. So H1, H2. Do I have an H3 on this one? I do not. So those are your H tags. This is a image. So the exclamation point says image. This is an alt text. And this is additional, this is the link, and again, I can't remember which one exactly is the alt text that'll display, but these are kind of the alt text items. Construction tag with a p tag, mpern, and this is just me explaining what it is. This is divided into multiple servers with, what did I just type? With separate, I don't know where that and came from, with separate databases. User only interacts directly with, for a period there, user only interacts directly with either the gateway or the socket IO server, which then requests are sent to the required services, which they can interact with other services if additional information is needed. I explain what the stack is. mpern, I considered calling this mpern stack due to the planned addition of a chat microservice using socket IO for real-time chatting, and then the links to the actual microservices. And this is where I would send someone, so then they can go look and see what the system is doing. I do have a post one, I just haven't put the link on the README yet, but to showcase what this looks like, if I go to my, let me pull up the window, GitHub, and show you what that code ends up looking like. So, hey, Ryan Silver created a new repo. Python, React, blockchain, cryptocurrency. What the heck? Wow, that sounds cool. I am very curious what that is. Python, React, blockchain, cryptocurrency. I might have to monitor that. I might have to ping Ryan for a second. So let's do mpern microservice. I think that's the one I want to do because that's not yours, that's mine. So, yep. So this is what that README ended up looking like after it processes it. And why is the image not loading again? I got that from Google Photos. That image should load. What the hell? I tested it a couple minutes ago. I made it a public photo. Click the share button again. Create the link. Copy. Try that again now. Stop doing that. Does it actually expire? I'll have to look into that maybe. Oh, that's weird. It's a different URL now, all of a sudden. Did I not do that right last time? Anyway, it worked a couple minutes ago. Anyway, here we go. Refresh. It doesn't like it. I'll have to figure that out later. Anyway, yeah, this is the photo I created. So that's going to load. I'm going to figure out again why it's not loading right, but there's that. And so the photo would load there so that I can showcase my design architecture, to showcase that I designed it and how it looks. And all that, nice and organized. And then these are the links to the actual individual pieces. So then the person that's trying to hire me can go look at each individual service as well. So this is what they call a GitHub. It's a repo of, it's just the home repo. This is the repo like stack or the repo collection. So in here is where I tell them all the repos are. So that way, instead of trying to put 4 or 5 links on my resume for the same individual project, I put one link that refers to the whole project, and then each gateway, each repo is separate because they are separate entities. It helps to make that clear that these are all separate pieces, if that makes sense. Instead of trying to do 4 folders in here, each one with a repo, each one with a different microservice, each microservice is its own system. It's 100% its own system, including its own repository. Make sense? So that would be the other recommendation I would have for you guys. As you build out your Java systems, make sure your Java system has a repo folder, and all it has in it, like I said, is this README file with links to each one. That's all it needs. And then the last thing I'm going to do, like I said, in the terminal, I'm going to cd into ms walkthrough, cd into posts, yarn init posts, microservice for internal walkthrough, server.js. I don't know if private is a new question, but anyway. You want to add express, cores, and this one I'm going to do Mongoose, because this one is going to be the Mongo database. Express, cores, Mongoose, anything else I need? We're not going to do any authentication, JSON web token stuff or anything like that. That should be it for now. Those are my non-dev items, and then yarn add -d node mon. That's what I'm going to do now. So if anyone wants to do that, and then the last thing is make sure you have an active Mongo Atlas account if you want to do the follow along on Sunday. All right. And so this one, all we're going to do is create a single table or single collection and create the routes for adding and viewing a post. That is it. And then we're going to showcase how we can do a view post that is an unauthorized access to a post, which is just they just log in, and then a post command to create a post that is that is authenticated. It's an authenticated route. So the post route will be authenticated, while the get route will be unauthenticated. Bleh, that word.
Sorry, can you just remind me which packages?
Just Express, Cores, and Mongoose. We're going to do a Mongo database for this one, just to show that we have the 2 databases. So one Mongo database, one SQL database. All good. So that's the setup. I'm gonna, if you actually want to create the basic server.js file like we did with gateway and auth, you can, but I'll be doing that off camera. So I'll create the simple skeleton structure that we put in the other ones off camera, just loading in Express, loading in Cores, and bringing in a Mongoose database. That's it. But again, I'll show the code on Sunday, but I'm going to do the actual typing off camera. Sound good? So
the packages, you did Mongoose.
Cores and Express.
it's on the screen right now. Yep. Mongoose, Cores, and Express. Yep. And then we added NodeMon as a developer, as a dev dependency.
Right. Okay.
All right, that's it. So we're going to end this now since I don't want to go too late with everyone here. Yep, I'll post this video up so that way those who missed on Sunday as well, and if you want to review this code again, to make sure your code is up to date, you can. I'm going to actually do again off camera some of the, I'm going to create my routes for the 2 actions that we did. So the 2 user actions, I'll clean up my posts and we'll be good to go. So keep an eye on the GitHub to get that information.
And I'll be sending out invites for that Scrum one.
I will see everyone Sunday then, because everyone here I will not be seeing tomorrow in class, since your focus will be instead on this. Well, not this specifically, but on your project.
What did you say? What did you say?
We don't have class.
I'm not expecting. I don't plan to see you in class anymore.
Oh,
We're working on our
Yep.
project.
oh, okay. Tomorrow.
Yep.
Tomorrow morning.
So, yep. I'm not. I don't. If I see you in class, I don't care. But you're not required to be there. Your focus is on these projects.
I was going to ask actually that
Yeah.
question. But
So unless you want to do, the only reason you would pop into class tomorrow then is if you want to showcase what you've been working on your final project, on this capstone project. That would be it. That's the only reason you should show up in the class on any other days is to show me what you've been working on so I can do you make this better, fix that, fix this. It's the only reason you need to come to class.
this is for at least 2 weeks, right?
Yep. Sound good?
Yep.
All right. See you on Sunday. Bye.
Hey, Cliff.
Yep, I heard. I saw.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Stay, Nate.